Hey guys, Dr. Rebecca Warren here, and I want to talk about how I lost 15 pounds post-thyroidectomy. So my name is Dr. Rebecca. If you don't follow already, I'm a functional practitioner in the DC, and I had my thyroid removed 20 years ago due to thyroid cancer. And I work with people all over the world, helping them heal after thyroidectomy. And one of the biggest questions I get asked, one of the biggest frustrations post-thyroidectomy is weight loss resistance. Now, I do believe that these people that are asking about weight loss resistance post-thyroidectomy also have other symptoms that they don't realize is related to their thyroid hormones not being optimal, like mental health symptoms, gut issues, skin issues. But the weight loss resistance, I understand the frustration, especially when you're doing all the right things and you're not able to lose weight, or that weight is starting to creep up again. So, to answer you guys, how did I lose 15 pounds in 6 weeks? I changed my meds completely. Just switched the type of med I was taking for my thyroid hormones. Now, you're probably like, wait, this isn't, what, just your meds? Because the truth is, I've been living without a thyroid for 20 years. So I've been on thyroid meds. But this is something really big that I have found. So I work with people and I'm a practitioner, but because I'm living it, it's a lived experience. I have lived this out. And because I have lived this out, I started asking people that have been living 5+ years post-thyroidectomy if this is something they've realized as well. And I will say this, I'm starting to see even people like a year or two after thyroidectomy here in the most recent years. But one of the big things I see is that the thyroid meds will work. The amount, once you kind of tweak it and optimize it to you, it'll work until it doesn't work anymore. And that is a really big deal, because you can start to essentially punish yourself, or I don't know, it can put you in a poor mental headspace when you see other people are able to lose the weight much quicker, much faster. If they're fasting and they might be doing keto, they might be doing these things that you are, but it's just like this resistance for you. And for me, I lost those 15 pounds because I gained that weight and it stayed on postpartum. Now, for me, I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you guys. Postpartum is just a really difficult transition with all of my sex hormones and my thyroid meds. Every postpartum period, I have noticed that I have to switch. And I'm not just saying like, oh, maybe I need to increase my dose. I need to try a different form. And if you've watched any of my content or my podcasts, like I've talked about, I've been on all types of thyroid meds. I am not like a set like, oh yeah, like this is the best thyroid med. I think especially post-thyroidectomy and living long-term without a thyroid, you need the ability to try whatever works for you in that season that your body needs. And I've done that. And so my vulnerability is going to come from the fact that this last postpartum period, I waited way too long to do something about my thyroid meds. I had my third kid. I was busy with that and serving my clients and in my clinic and my family. And I knew things were not right, but I didn't prioritize myself. So for a lot of you guys, it might not be a postpartum for you. You might be a male and you're just under a lot of stress. Like there's a lot of work stress or family stress. There's seasons where our need changes. And I think one of the biggest disfavors that the medical system does to people that end up losing their thyroid is they make it seem like it's easy, like it's no big deal, that this vital organ that adapts, that is constantly communicating with your brain, this intelligent tissue and cells, like that they could cut something out and that it will easily be replaced by a pill for the rest of your life. And when you're kind of fed that idea, you can miss how important it is to change things, to change the amount, to decrease, to increase, to try natural desiccated, maybe try Synthro, maybe try tyrosine, like try Cytomel. Like the fact is that we have lost that adaptability with that organ being gone. And so for me, I had a great pregnancy, a great birth, but those big shifts with the sex hormones, the stress I was under with that big transition, my meds were not working, and I trucked along. I was fasting. I was doing, cycling with, in and out of ketosis and sunlight, and I was doing all these things, but my weight wasn't coming off. And there's other things too I was experiencing, but I kept pushing through because there was so much to do. And then when I stopped and realized this is not okay, I need to prioritize myself, I switched my thyroid meds, and I'm currently still optimizing it. So just switching the med and just going from this to this doesn't mean that's the right amount for you. It can take a couple of cycles, a couple of 6-week cycles to know how much you need. And a lot of times people get on thyroid meds and they're like, oh, they're within range or midway through the range, and they're like, okay, you're within range. But our bodies are all so uniquely different. I know with my body, me personally do so much better at the top end of the range, and I'm not there yet. But the fact that switching the meds, even though I had tried tweaking what I was on before because I didn't want to do the big switch, this is someone who's been living like this for 20 years. I wanted to see if I could stay on what I was on, but it was not working. And immediately with that switch, getting on the right, kind of starting amount, 15 pounds were done. Now, I do want to say this, though. I had the foundation. And for a lot of you guys that are struggling with weight loss resistance post-thyroidectomy, especially a lot of people that follow me, have found me through podcasts with, nutrition and some really great doctors out there. I've been on podcasts with them. So a lot of you guys out there are eating in a nourishing way, avoiding inflammatory foods, really working out. A lot of the clients that I work with have been doing incredible things for their health, and yet they're stuck. And it's like, well, now we got to go back and we need to relearn. Well, not even relearn, because what I'm finding is that they didn't even know. You got to learn your labs, you got to learn your body, you got to learn your options, and you got to learn how to optimize that for you. So of course you've got to have that foundation. You can't just expect that switching your thyroid meds, you're just going to lose weight. But if you're making those efforts and nourishing your body, moving your body, getting sunlight, prioritizing sleep, and it's like, why is everyone else losing weight and I'm not? You've got to remember that losing that organ, and I mean 20 years for me, I do forget. I'm going, and I do. I have the scars there, right? Sometimes I even forget it's there when I look in the mirror. But you've always got to remember you've got this really big thing. Unfortunately, I say this all the time, is that you shouldn't suffer post-thyroidectomy. There's too many of you guys that are suffering because of wrong information and wrong guidance and wrong education. You shouldn't suffer, but it does take more work living without a thyroid. Absolutely, because you've lost a vital organ and now you're on a pill. And it's going to take more work, but you cannot downplay, you cannot forget that you've lost your thyroid, and that affects everything. Your outlook on life, not just your ability to lose weight, but your ability to digest foods, to take in nutrients, to balance blood sugar, to keep cholesterol healthy, to keep your heart healthy, to have a good perimenopause and menopause. Those thyroid hormones are essential for that. And I need you to understand how important that is, because a lot of you guys, you have maybe your family, your friends are around you that they don't really fully understand. You're fine, you're alive, you got your thyroid cut out, especially if it's for thyroid cancer. You should be good when you're not. So I want to tell you, I understand the frustrations, and I understand how difficult it can be to not feel great in your body because your thyroid hormones are off, because your thyroid meds aren't optimal. And so if you are weight loss resistant, you've got to look at those complete labs. I'm going to put a link in my caption where you can get my free Optimal Labs ebook and just kind of get a breakdown of like what to order and an explanation why, because that's the first place to start. Please follow along. I'll be sharing more information, but I'm also going to share my journey on this kind of weight loss, because it is frustrating. Like, I'm glad I've lost 15 pounds, but it's frustrating that something that should have been working is no longer working, and I essentially am starting over with my thyroid meds. But I know I can get better. I know I can optimize that, and I just got blood work done today. I'm looking at those labs tomorrow, and then I'm going to go from there. I'll have to keep on optimizing until I am where I need to be. And as I'm optimizing my meds, I am kind of slowing down I'm not doing a bunch of fasting. I'm really prioritizing my stress, my HPA access, my nutrient status. I am getting back into ketosis to help with my energy production. So if you'd like to see what that looks like for you, please hit the subscribe button, follow along, leave me a comment if you're on this journey as well. But just know that you can lose the weight, you can get better post-thyroidectomy, but you've got to know the right information.